Awkwardness is not who you are. It is only a habit your mind learned over time. A habit built from overthinking, self-doubt, and fear of being judged. This book will teach you how to break that habit. You will learn how to speak naturally, connect easily, and walk into any conversation with calm confidence. No pressure, no pretending, no forced charm. Stay with me till the end. And make sure to subscribe. And because your journey to talking to anyone without feeling awkward begins right now. Chapter 1. The Psychology of Awkwardness and Social Fear. Awkwardness is not your personality. It is not your identity. It is not who you are. Awkwardness is a mental state, a learned reaction, a pattern your mind repeats when it feels unsafe. You were not born awkward. No child enters the world afraid to speak. No child worries about being judged. No child overthinks every word. Awkwardness is built over time, from moments of embarrassment, from rejection, from being laughed at, from being ignored, from being misunderstood. The mind remembers pain, and it tries to protect you from feeling it again. So it creates fear, it creates tension, it creates hesitation. This is how social fear is born. Social fear is not fear of people. It is fear of how people might make you feel. Fear of looking foolish, fear of sounding stupid, fear of being judged, fear of being rejected, fear of not being enough. The mind turns conversations into danger zones. It treats social moments like tests. It treats people like critics. And suddenly, something simple becomes heavy. You walk into a room. Your body tightens. Your thoughts race. Your heart beats faster. Your breathing becomes shallow. You start monitoring yourself. Your posture, your voice, your words, your expressions. You stop being present. You start performing. And that is where awkwardness lives. Awkwardness is what happens when you leave the moment and enter your own head. The mind becomes a battlefield. One voice says speak. Another says stay quiet. One says be confident. Another says don't mess up. One says be yourself. Another says hide. This internal conflict freezes you. Your natural flow disappears. Your words get stuck. Your energy collapses inward. People feel this tension, not because you said something wrong, but because your energy is fighting itself. Awkwardness is not about what you say. It is about what you feel while saying it. Social fear comes from emotional memory. Your brain stores moments that hurt. Moments when you were embarrassed. Moments when you felt small. Moments when you felt rejected. Later, when a similar situation appears, your brain activates those memories. It sends danger signals. It releases stress hormones. Your body prepares for threat, even though no threat exists. Your brain cannot tell the difference between real danger and emotional discomfort. So it reacts the same way. Fight, freeze, run. Most people freeze. They smile nervously. They speak too fast. They say too much. They say too little. They avoid eye contact. They avoid conversation. And then they blame themselves. But the problem is not you. The problem is your nervous system. Your nervous system learned to associate social situations with danger, and anything associated with danger creates tension. This tension is what people call awkwardness. Social fear is the fear of being seen. Seen for who you are, seen for what you think, seen for how you feel. It is vulnerability, fear, because when you speak, you reveal yourself, and the mind hates exposure. Exposure means risk. Risk means pain. So the mind says stay quiet, stay safe, stay invisible. But invisibility kills connection. You want connection. Your mind wants protection. This conflict creates anxiety. Anxiety is the body preparing for something bad to happen. But most social situations are not dangerous. They are neutral. They are normal. They are human. The danger exists only in imagination. Awkwardness grows when the mind imagines failure. It imagines people judging you. It imagines people laughing at you. It imagines rejection. These images feel real to the brain, so the body reacts as if they are happening. This is why you feel nervous, even before anything goes wrong. You are reacting to a story, not to reality. Your mind is creating a movie, and your body is living inside it. Awkwardness is the result of this false reality. Social fear is built on prediction. You predict embarrassment. You predict rejection. You predict failure, and your body prepares accordingly. But prediction is not truth. Most people are not judging you. Most people are focused on themselves. Most people are dealing with their own fears. Everyone is inside their own head. Yet your mind tells you that everyone is watching you. This is called spotlight illusion. The feeling that you are under a spotlight, when in reality, no one is paying that much attention. This illusion makes you self-conscious. Self-consciousness creates tension. Tension creates awkwardness. The more you focus on yourself, the more uncomfortable you feel. The more uncomfortable you feel, the more awkward you appear. It becomes a loop. Awkwardness feeds on attention turned inward. Social ease is attention turned outward. Confident people are not confident because they are perfect. They are confident because they are present. They are not thinking about how they look. They are thinking about who they are with. They are not monitoring every word. They are listening. They are not worried about being judged. They are focused on connecting. Presence dissolves awkwardness. The moment you leave your head and enter the moment, awkwardness loses power. Social fear also comes from perfectionism, the belief that you must say the right thing, the belief that you must sound smart, the belief that you must impress. This pressure creates stiffness. Human connection is not built on perfection. It is built on warmth, on ease, on authenticity. Trying to be perfect makes you unnatural. Being natural makes you attractive. People connect with energy, not performance. They feel how relaxed you are. They feel how comfortable you are. They feel how open you are. Awkwardness is emotional resistance. Resistance to being seen. Resistance to being heard. Resistance to being vulnerable. But vulnerability is not weakness. It is the doorway to connection. When you allow yourself to be imperfect, you become approachable. When you stop trying to impress, you become likable. When you stop protecting your image, you start building real relationships. Social fear also comes from identity. If you see yourself as shy, your mind looks for proof. If you see yourself as awkward, your mind looks for confirmation. Identity shapes behavior. Change your identity, and your behavior follows. You are not awkward. You are someone learning confidence. You are not bad at talking. You are training your social skill. You are not broken. You are untrained. Social skill is a skill. No one is born knowing how to talk to strangers. No one is born knowing how to navigate conversations. These skills are learned, and anything learned can be improved. Awkwardness fades with familiarity. The more you expose yourself to conversations, the safer your brain feels. The more your brain feels safe, the less it activates fear. The less fear you feel, the more natural you become. Confidence grows through repetition, not by waiting, not by hiding, not by avoiding, but by stepping into discomfort until discomfort becomes normal. The brain adapts. What once felt dangerous eventually feels ordinary. What once felt terrifying eventually feels easy. This is how fear dies, not by fighting it, but by walking through it. Social fear also comes from overthinking. Overthinking kills flow. Conversations are not puzzles. They are exchanges of energy. You do not need perfect words. You need honest presence. People do not remember your sentences. They remember your feeling. They remember your warmth. They remember your attention. They remember your calm. Awkwardness disappears when you stop trying to control the moment and start participating in it. Let the conversation breathe. Let it move naturally. Let silence exist. Silence is not failure. Silence is space. Space gives connection room to grow. When you stop rushing to fill gaps, you stop creating pressure. When you stop pressuring yourself, you relax. Relaxation is confidence. Confidence is comfort with yourself. Social ease is self-acceptance. When you accept yourself, you stop fearing rejection. When you stop fearing rejection, you stop trying to be someone else. When you stop pretending, you become magnetic, because realness attracts. Awkwardness is the fear of being real. The cure is courage. Not loud courage, not dramatic courage, quiet courage. The courage to show up, the courage to speak, the courage to stay present, the courage to be imperfect. This is where transformation begins. You are not here to impress the world. You are here to connect with it. And connection starts when you stop hiding. Your voice matters. Your presence matters. Your story matters. The world does not need a perfect version of you. It needs the real one. This is the truth behind awkwardness. It is not a flaw. It is a fear, and fear can be unlearned. Your journey begins now. Chapter 2. Building natural confidence in conversation. Confidence is not something you put on. It is something you grow into. It is not loud. It is not dramatic. It does not announce itself. Real confidence is quiet, steady, grounded. It is the calm feeling that says, I belong here. Most people think confidence comes from knowing what to say. But confidence does not come from words. It comes from how you feel about yourself while speaking. If you feel tense, your words feel tense. If you feel rushed, your voice rushes. If you feel unsure, your presence shrinks. Confidence is an inner state. Conversation only reveals it. You do not become confident by memorizing lines. You become confident by trusting yourself. Trust is built through experience. Experience is built through action. You cannot think your way into confidence. You must live your way into it. Confidence grows when your nervous system learns that talking is safe, that people are not enemies, that mistakes are not disasters, that silence is not shame. Your body must learn this before your mind believes it. The body reacts first. The mind explains later. If your body feels safe, your mind relaxes. If your body feels tense, your mind panics. This is why confidence training starts with the body. Posture matters. Breathing matters. Movement matters. A collapsed posture sends a message to your brain. It says, you are weak. You are small. You are in danger. A grounded posture sends a different message. It says, you are stable. You are present. You are safe. Your body becomes your anchor. Slow breathing calms the nervous system. Calm breathing slows the heart. A slow heart relaxes the mind. When your body relaxes, your voice becomes natural. Your tone softens. Your pace steadies. This is where confidence begins. Natural confidence is comfort with being seen. It is not trying to be impressive. It is not trying to be perfect. It is not trying to win approval. It is simply being okay with existing in the moment. You stop hiding. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing for being present. You let yourself take space, not aggressively, not forcefully, but naturally. You stand where you stand. You speak when you speak. You pause when you pause. You do not rush to fill silence. You do not panic when attention turns toward you. You stay. Staying is confidence. Most people leave the moment mentally. They escape into their head. They retreat into self-doubt. They hide behind nervous laughter. Confident people stay. They remain emotionally present. They listen fully. They respond calmly. Presence creates power. When you are present, you stop thinking about yourself. When you stop thinking about yourself, you stop judging yourself. When you stop judging yourself, your fear disappears. Fear needs self-attention to survive. Confidence lives in outward attention. You focus on the person. You focus on the moment. You focus on the energy of the conversation. The moment you do this, your body relaxes. Your voice flows. Your words come naturally. You are no longer performing. You are participating. Confidence also grows through emotional permission. You give yourself permission to be imperfect, permission to say the wrong thing, permission to pause, permission to learn. When you remove the pressure to be perfect, You free yourself to be real. Realness creates connection. People do not connect with polished masks. They connect with human presence. They feel your authenticity. They feel your intention. They feel your warmth. And they respond to that. Conversation is not about saying something special. It is about sharing space with another human being. When you stop trying to be special, you become comfortable. Comfort is confidence. Confidence is comfort with yourself. You do not need to become someone else. You only need to stop hiding who you are. Every confident speaker you admire was once unsure, once nervous, once hesitant. They did not change their personality. They trained their nervous system. They showed up when it felt uncomfortable. They spoke when their voice shook. They stayed when their mind wanted to escape. And slowly their body learned. Talking is safe. Being seen is safe. Connection is safe. The fear faded. Confidence grew. Natural confidence is not built in one moment. It is built through many small moments of courage. A greeting, a comment, a smile, a short conversation. Each moment rewires your brain. Your brain updates its story. This is okay. I can handle this. I am safe here. Over time, this becomes your identity. I am someone who can talk to people. Identity shapes behavior. When you see yourself as capable, you act capable. When you see yourself as confident, you speak confidently. The story you tell yourself becomes the reality you live. Confidence also comes from emotional independence. When you depend on others for validation, you give them power over your feelings. When you accept yourself, you become free. Free from approval, free from rejection, free from overthinking. You stop chasing acceptance. You start expressing yourself. Expression is confidence. People are drawn to those who are comfortable being themselves. It feels honest. It feels open. It feels real. Social confidence is not about dominating conversations. It is about being at ease inside them. You do not need to talk more. You need to feel less pressure. When pressure leaves, flow appears. Flow is when words move naturally, when thoughts come easily, when your energy feels light. This is the state you are building. Confidence is not a switch. It is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. Every conversation is training, not a test, not a performance. Training. Mistakes are not failures. They are lessons. Awkward moments are not shame. They are growth. Every uncomfortable interaction is shaping your future confidence. If you avoid, fear wins. If you show up, confidence grows. You do not need to eliminate fear. You need to move forward with it. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is action in the presence of fear. Each time you act, fear weakens. Each time you hide, fear strengthens. The choice is always yours. You are not broken. You are becoming. You are not awkward. You are learning. You are not behind. You are on your path. Confidence is built one moment at a time, one breath, one step, one word, and one day you will look back and realize something changed. Your body feels calmer. Your voice feels steadier. Your mind feels quieter. You no longer feel like you are trying. You simply are. This is natural confidence, not forced, not fake, not loud, just real. And once you feel it, you never lose it. Because confidence is not something you borrow. It is something you build. And you are building it now. Chapter 3. The Power of First Impressions and Social Presence. First impressions are silent. They speak before you do. They arrive before your words. They shape how people feel about you in the first few seconds. And once they form, they influence everything that follows. People decide how to treat you before the conversation even begins. Not because they are judging you, but because the human brain is built to read energy fast. It scans posture. It scans movement. It scans tone. It scans presence. And in a moment, it forms a feeling. That feeling becomes perception. Perception becomes expectation. Expectation shapes interaction. This is the power of first impressions. But first impressions are not about appearance, they are about presence. Presence is how you occupy space, how you carry yourself, how your energy enters the room. Some people walk in and nothing changes. Some people walk in and the room shifts, not because they demand attention, but because they bring clarity. Social presence is emotional gravity. It is not loud. It is not flashy. It is not dramatic. It is calm, grounded, centered. Presence makes people feel you. They feel your stability. They feel your confidence. They feel your comfort with yourself. And when people feel that, they relax around you. Relaxation creates openness. Openness creates connection. Connection begins in the first moment. Most people lose presence because they enter with tension. They walk into a room already thinking, already judging themselves, already worrying. Their body tightens, their breath shortens, their eyes lose softness, and the room feels it. Presence collapses under self-consciousness. When your attention turns inward, your energy shrinks. People sense that shrink. They feel distance. They feel hesitation. They feel uncertainty. But when your attention turns outward, your energy expands. You become available. You become open. You become grounded. This is presence. Presence is attention. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. Confident presence begins before you speak. It begins the moment you enter. Your walk matters. Not the speed, the intention. A rushed walk signals anxiety. A heavy walk signals tension. A relaxed walk signals confidence. Your posture speaks. A collapsed chest hides. An open chest welcomes. Your shoulders tell a story. Tight shoulders say, I am under pressure. Relaxed shoulders say, I am at ease. Your eyes speak. Eyes that scan nervously signal fear.
Eyes that move calm
Signal safety. People trust safety. Your face carries emotion. A tight jaw says resistance. A relaxed mouth says openness. Your breath sets your rhythm. Fast breath creates urgency. Slow breath creates calm. Calm is magnetic. Social presence is not about dominating the room. It is about grounding the room. You do not need to be the loudest. You need to be the steadiest. People follow steadiness. When someone walks in with emotional balance, the room softens, tension drops, noise settles, energy stabilizes. This is leadership. Leadership is not control. It is emotional direction. Your presence sets the tone. If you enter nervous, others feel uneasy. If you enter grounded, others relax. If you enter confident, others feel safe. Your inner state becomes contagious. First impressions are not created by words. They are created by energy. You can say hello perfectly, but if your body says fear, people feel fear. You can say nothing, but if your presence says calm, people feel calm. This is why presence matters more than personality. Personality shows over time. Presence shows immediately. Presence is your emotional signature. It tells people who you are before you tell them. Social presence also comes from emotional permission. When you allow yourself to take space, others allow you to. When you shrink, others step over you. When you stand naturally, others respect your space. This is not dominance. It is self-respect. Self-respect is felt. People treat you the way your energy trains them to. If your energy says, I am unsure, people hesitate around you. If your energy says, I belong here, people accept you. Belonging begins inside. You must feel it before others believe it. Social presence also comes from emotional availability. Closed energy repels. Open energy invites. A soft face invites. A relaxed tone invites. A grounded posture invites. People lean toward openness. But openness does not mean weakness. It means confidence without armor. Armor creates distance. Confidence creates warmth. Presence grows when you stop trying to protect your image. Image protection creates tension. Tension kills connection. Drop the armor. Carry your truth. Your truth is enough. First impressions also depend on pace. Fast energy overwhelms. Slow energy reassures. People feel rushed around fast energy. They feel safe around slow energy. Not lazy slow, grounded slow, the slow of certainty. When your movements are deliberate, your presence feels intentional. Intentional presence feels powerful. Rushed presence feels nervous. Your rhythm sets the conversation. People mirror the pace you bring. If you slow down, others slow down. If you rush, others feel pressured. Pressure kills connection. Ease creates connection. Social presence is emotional leadership. You lead by how you show up. You do not need to impress. You need to arrive. Arrive fully. Arrive calmly. Arrive grounded. People feel when someone arrives fully. They feel your attention. They feel your availability. They feel your presence. And they respond to it. First impressions are emotional snapshots. People remember how you made them feel in the first moment. That feeling becomes the lens through which they see everything else you do. If the feeling is safety, they trust you. If the feeling is warmth, they like you. If the feeling is respect, they listen to you. If the feeling is tension, they guard themselves. You control that first feeling with your presence. Not by acting, not by performing, not by trying, but by being calm, being open, being grounded. Presence is not something you add. It is something you allow. Allow yourself to take space. Allow yourself to breathe. Allow yourself to be seen. The moment you stop hiding, presence appears. The moment you stop shrinking, energy expands. The moment you stop performing, connection begins. First impressions are not about perfection. They are about authenticity. People trust realness. They feel it. They respond to it. They relax around it. You do not need to be extraordinary. You need to be present. Presence is rare, and rarity creates impact. When you walk into a room with grounded confidence, people notice, not because you demand attention, but because your energy feels different. It feels stable. It feels clear. It feels safe. This is social power, not power over people. Power with people. The power to create ease. The power to create comfort. The power to create connection. This is the real meaning of first impressions. It is not about how you look. It is about how you feel. And how you feel is what people remember. Chapter 4. Starting conversations with ease and flow. The beginning is where most people freeze. Not because they lack words, but because they feel pressure. Pressure to be interesting. Pressure to be smooth. Pressure to say something perfect. That pressure turns a simple moment into a heavy one. Starting a conversation is not a performance. It is an invitation into shared space, shared attention, shared presence. Flow does not come from clever lines. It comes from emotional openness. When you open your energy, the conversation opens with you. Most awkward starts come from hesitation. Hesitation creates tension. Tension blocks connection. The mind waits for certainty. The moment waits for action. Confidence lives in action. Flow begins when you move, before your fear finishes talking. Starting a conversation is a decision, not a feeling. You do not wait to feel ready. You act and readiness follows. The moment you step forward, your body adjusts, your voice stabilizes, your breath deepens, movement dissolves doubt. The first few seconds shape everything, not because they are perfect, but because they set the rhythm. A calm start creates calm energy. A rushed start creates pressure. A tense start creates distance. Flow begins with grounding. You ground yourself before you approach, before you speak, before you enter the moment. Grounding is simple. You feel your feet. You slow your breath. You relax your jaw. You soften your eyes. Your body tells your mind that you are safe. Safe energy is attractive. People respond to calm presence. You do not need a perfect opener. You need a real one. Realness builds connection. A natural observation. A simple comment. a shared moment. The environment is your ally. Every place offers entry points: the room, the event, the situation, the moment. That you are not creating something new. You are joining something that already exists. This removes pressure. You are not inventing conversation. You are stepping into it. Flow begins when you match the moment. If the space is quiet, your tone is soft. If the space is energetic, your tone is light. If the space is serious, your tone is grounded. You do not force energy. You align with it. Alignment creates ease. Ease creates flow. Flow is when words feel natural, when timing feels right, when silence feels comfortable. Silence is not failure. Silence is rhythm. Conversations breathe. You speak, you pause, they respond, you listen. This rhythm creates connection. Most people break flow by rushing to fill space. They panic in silence. They rush their words. They over-explain. This creates pressure. Pressure kills flow. Flow needs room. When you allow space, the other person feels free. Freedom creates openness. Openness creates engagement. Flow also comes from attention. When your attention is on them, they feel valued. When your attention is on yourself, they feel distance. Shift your focus outward. Notice their energy. Notice their posture. Notice their tone. Respond to what is present. Presence guides conversation. Flow grows from listening. Not just hearing words, but feeling emotion. Emotion tells you where to go next. If they sound excited, can match the energy. If they sound thoughtful, slow down. If they sound hesitant, soften your tone. This emotional alignment creates natural momentum. Momentum keeps conversations alive. Starting is not about saying the right thing. It is about creating the right feeling. The feeling of ease, the feeling of comfort, the feeling of safety. Once the feeling is there, the words follow naturally. Flow also depends on body language. An open stance invites, a relaxed face welcomes. A calm breath reassures. Your body speaks first. If your body says calm, your words feel safe. If your body says tension, your words feel forced. Relax your shoulders. Open your chest. Stand tall but soft. This posture creates confidence. Confidence creates trust. Trust creates flow. Flow also grows from authenticity. Do not try to impress. Do not try to entertain. Do not try to be clever. Be present. Be curious. Be real. People respond to sincerity. They feel when you care. And when they feel cared for, they engage. Engagement keeps conversation moving. Flow also requires patience. Not every moment needs words. Not every pause needs fixing. Sometimes the best move is to let the moment breathe. Breathing space more deepens connection. Rushing closes it. Starting conversations becomes easy when you remove the idea of outcome. You are not here to impress. You are not here to prove. You are not here to win. You are here to connect. Connection has no score. It is shared experience. When you release outcome, pressure dissolves. Without pressure, flow emerges. Every conversation is practice, not a test, not a judgment, not a performance. Practice creates familiarity. Familiarity creates comfort. Comfort creates confidence. Confidence creates flow. Flow becomes your new normal. Starting conversations stops feeling heavy. It starts feeling natural. You stop thinking. You start responding. You stop preparing. You start participating. The moment becomes your guide. You follow the energy. You match the rhythm. You stay present. This is ease. Ease is not laziness. It is alignment. Alignment between you, the moment, and the other person. When these three meet, flow appears. Flow is not forced. It is allowed. The more you allow, the easier it becomes. Starting conversations is not a skill. It is a state of openness, a state of calm, a state of presence. And once you enter that state, Every conversation begins naturally. No tension, no pressure, no fear, just connection, just presence, just flow. Chapter 5. Keeping conversations alive and engaging. Starting is only the doorway. What keeps people inside is energy. A conversation lives or dies by how it feels. If it feels heavy, it sinks. If it feels rushed, it breaks. If it feels flat, it fades. But when it feels alive, it carries itself forward. Engagement is not created by clever words. It is created by emotional movement. Movement is what keeps attention awake. When a conversation stops moving, the mind wanders. The body shifts. The connection loosens. Your role is not to entertain. Your role is to guide energy. Energy is the current. You are the one steering. People stay engaged when they feel included. Inclusion is presence. When someone feels seen, they stay. When someone feels heard, they open. When someone feels understood, they invest. Engagement grows from attention, real attention, not half listening, not waiting to speak, not planning the next line, full attention, eyes steady, body open, mind present. When you listen fully, people feel it. They slow down. They share more. They trust more. Trust deepens engagement. Conversation is not a performance. It is a shared creation. Both people build it together. Your job is to hold the space, a space where thoughts can land, a space where emotion can breathe, a space where silence can exist. Silence is not the enemy. It is the pause between notes. Music needs space. Conversation does too. When you let silence live, you invite depth. Depth keeps conversations alive. Surface talk fades fast. Depth lingers. Depth is not about heavy topics. It is about real feeling. A simple moment can be deep when it is shared fully. Engagement grows when you respond to emotion, not just words. Words carry information. Emotion carries connection. When someone speaks with excitement, you meet their energy. When someone speaks with hesitation, you soften. When someone speaks with passion, you lean in. This emotional matching keeps rhythm alive. Rhythm is the heartbeat of conversation. Fast rhythm feels intense. Slow rhythm feels calm. You guide rhythm by how you speak. Your pace sets the tone. If you rush, others feel pressured. If you slow down, others relax. Relaxation opens expression. Expression keeps conversation flowing. Flow comes from curiosity. Not curiosity that interrogates, curiosity that invites a gentle interest, a warm attention, a quiet openness. People open to curiosity that feels safe. Safety is the foundation. When people feel safe, they speak freely. When they speak freely, conversation becomes alive. Engagement also grows when you allow emotion to move. If someone shares joy, let it expand. If someone shares frustration, let it breathe. If someone shares doubt, hold space. Do not rush to fix. Do not rush to advise. Let the feeling be felt. Feeling is connection. Connection is engagement. The strongest conversations are not full of ideas. They are full of presence. Presence is the invisible thread that ties moments together. When your presence is steady, people feel anchored. When people feel anchored, they stay. Disengagement happens when energy collapses. Energy collapses when attention fades. Attention fades when pressure rises. Pressure comes from trying too hard, trying to be interesting, trying to be impressive, trying to be funny. Performance kills connection. People connect with humanity, not perfection. You do not need to shine. You need to be real. Realness invites realness. This mutual honesty creates momentum. Momentum keeps conversations alive. Conversations die when they feel one-sided. When one person carries the weight, when one person leads every turn, when one person fills every gap, shared flow is the goal. You offer, they respond. You build, they add. This dance creates engagement. When you let others shape the direction, they feel ownership. Ownership deepens interest. People care about what they help create. Conversation is co-creation. Your role is to invite, not control. Control stiffens. Invitation opens. Engagement thrives in openness. Your tone also matters. Flat tone drains energy. Warm tone lifts it. Tone carries emotion. Emotion carries meaning. Meaning keeps attention. When your voice carries warmth, people feel welcomed. When your voice carries calm, people feel safe. When your voice carries interest, people feel valued. Value builds connection. Connection keeps conversation alive. Body language speaks constantly. Leaning in shows interest. Open posture invites closeness. Relaxed movement signals ease. Your body supports your words. When your body is open, your words feel open. When your body is closed, your words feel distant. Alignment between body and voice creates trust. Trust keeps people engaged. Engagement also grows when you allow the conversation to evolve. Do not trap it in one lane. Let it wander naturally. Wandering creates discovery. Discovery excites the mind. Excitement keeps attention. When you follow the energy, new paths appear. Follow curiosity. Follow emotion. Follow momentum. Let the conversation reveal itself. Over-control kills flow. Flow is organic. It grows when you let go. Let go of expectations. Let go of outcome. Let go of pressure. When you release control, presence takes over. Presence carries connection. Connection carries engagement. Engagement carries momentum. Momentum keeps conversations alive. Some moments are light. Some are deep. Some are playful. Some are thoughtful. Allow all of it. Variety keeps the mind awake. Monotony drains attention. Emotion is the color of conversation. Without color, everything looks the same. When emotion moves, the conversation feels alive. People stay where they feel something. They leave where they feel nothing. Your presence brings feeling. Feeling brings connection. Connection keeps the conversation breathing. You are not responsible for entertaining. You are responsible for holding space. Space allows energy to move. When energy moves, conversation lives. When energy stops, conversation fades. The goal is not to talk more. The goal is to connect deeper. Depth holds attention. Surface fades quickly. People remember how they felt, not what was said. If they felt alive, they return. If they felt flat, they drift away. Your presence is the difference. Stay present. Stay open. Stay grounded. Let the conversation breathe. Let it move. Let it live. Chapter 6. Reading the Room and Understanding Social Signals. Every room speaks. Not with words, but with energy. Before anyone talks, before a single sentence is spoken, the room already has a mood. Some rooms feel light. Some feel tense. Some feel closed. Some feel open. Socially confident people feel this instantly, not because they are special, but because they are attentive. They listen with their senses. Reading the room is not guessing. It is observing without panic. Most people enter a room and immediately turn inward. They focus on themselves. They focus on how they look. They focus on how they sound. And because of that, they miss everything happening around them. You cannot read the room if you are trapped in your head. Awkwardness blocks awareness. Presence unlocks it. The moment you ground yourself, your perception expands. You start noticing tone. You start noticing posture. You start noticing pace. You start noticing silence. These are social signals. Social signals are emotional information. They tell you how people feel before they tell you what they think. Emotion always comes first. A room with slow movement and soft voices is asking for calm. A room with fast speech and sharp energy is asking for grounding. A room filled with silence is asking for gentleness. A room filled with laughter is asking for lightness. When you match the room, You belong instantly. Belonging removes awkwardness. Most social mistakes happen because people fight the room. They bring excitement into seriousness. They bring seriousness into playfulness. They bring intensity into ease. Mismatch creates tension. Match creates flow. Reading the room begins with stillness. You pause mentally. You observe. You feel. You do not rush to speak. You let the environment speak first. This pause gives you power. Power not to control, but to align. Alignment is social intelligence. Every group has a rhythm. Some groups move fast. Some move slow. If you move faster than the group, you feel out of place. If you move slower than the group, you feel disconnected. But when you match rhythm, conversation flows naturally. Rhythm is felt through pacing. How quickly people speak. How often they interrupt. How long they pause. You adjust your timing accordingly. Timing is respect. Understanding social signals also means reading individuals within the room. Every person is sending information. Through their eyes, through their posture, through their voice. A person leaning in is open. A person leaning back is guarded. Crossed arms signal distance. Open hands signal trust. Quick responses signal engagement. Short responses signal withdrawal. These signals are not rules, they are patterns. Patterns guide behavior. Socially skilled people do not force interaction. They respond to signals. If someone is closed, they give space. If someone is open, they engage gently. Respecting signals builds trust. Ignoring signals creates discomfort. People feel seen when you notice their state. They feel safe when you adjust to it. Safety removes awkwardness. Another layer of reading the room is emotional temperature. Some rooms are emotionally warm. Some are emotionally cold. Warm rooms welcome expression. Cold rooms require patience. If you open too fast in a cold room, you create discomfort. If you stay closed too long in a warm room, you miss connection. You calibrate. Calibration is subtle adjustment, not changing who you are, but how you express yourself. Social confidence is flexibility. Rigid behavior feels unnatural. Flexible behavior feels intelligent. Understanding social signals also means noticing silence. Silence is information. Long silence can mean discomfort. Short silence can mean thinking. Comfortable silence feels relaxed. Awkward silence feels tense. You learn the difference by paying attention to energy. Not just time, energy tells the truth. When silence feels heavy, softening helps. When silence feels natural, respect it. Not every silence needs words. Sometimes silence is connection. Reading the room also means reading yourself. Your body reacts before your mind understands. If you feel tight, the room may be tense. If you feel relaxed, the room may be safe. Your internal response is feedback. Learn to trust it without letting it control you. Social awareness is calm sensitivity, not hypervigilance. Hypervigilance creates anxiety. Calm awareness creates clarity. You notice without judging. You feel without reacting. This calm perception allows you to respond wisely. Responding wisely builds social confidence. Understanding social signals also means recognizing shifts. Energy changes. A group may start engage and slowly lose interest. A conversation may begin light and become serious. A person may open and then withdraw. These shifts guide your next move. Ignoring shifts creates awkwardness. Responding to shifts creates flow. Flow is constant adjustment. You listen. You sense. You adapt. This is why socially skilled people seem effortless. They are not following scripts. They are following energy. Energy never lies. Words can hide. Energy reveals. When you learn to read energy, you stop guessing. Guessing creates anxiety. Knowing creates calm. Calm creates confidence. Reading the room also means knowing when not to speak. Silence can be leadership. Holding space can be strength. You do not need to prove your presence with constant words. Presence is felt without noise. People respect those who are comfortable in silence. Comfort signals confidence. Confidence signals safety. Safety invites connection. Connection removes awkwardness. The more you read the room, the less you fear it. Fear comes from uncertainty. Awareness removes uncertainty. When you know what is happening, you relax. When you relax, you respond naturally. Natural response is social ease. Social signals are always there. They are subtle, but consistent. The more you practice noticing, the clearer they become. Eventually, reading the room becomes instinct. You walk in and you feel where to stand. You feel when to speak. You feel when to listen. This is not magic. This is awareness trained through presence. And once you develop it, awkwardness fades. Because you are no longer guessing. You are responding. You are aligned. You are present. This is the power of reading the room. This is how you move through social spaces with calm confidence and natural ease. Chapter 7. Responding instead of overthinking. Overthinking is the thief of connection. It steals your presence. It steals your rhythm. It steals your confidence. And it replaces all of that in noise. With noise, noise in the mind, noise in the body, noise in the heart. When you overthink, you leave the moment. You step out of the room emotionally. You watch yourself from a distance. You become your own judge. This is where awkwardness grows. Conversation is movement. Overthinking is resistance. Movement carries flow. Resistance breaks it. Responding is the art of staying. Overthinking is the habit of escaping. When you respond, you are with the person. When you overthink, you are with your fears. The mind tries to protect you. It says, slow down. Be careful. Don't mess up. But this protection becomes a prison. You stop trusting your instincts. You stop trusting your voice. You stop trusting your timing. You start building walls of thought around simple moments. The truth is simple. Your first response is usually the most natural one. It comes from presence. It comes from feeling. It comes from connection. Your second response comes from fear. Your third comes from doubt. Your fourth comes from self-judgment. And by the time you speak, the moment has passed. The rhythm is gone. The energy has shifted. The connection has cooled. Overthinking is delayed living. Responding is real-time living. Confidence lives in real time. When you respond, you move with the moment. You ride the current. You stay inside the flow. Flow carries you. Overthinking pulls you out. The mind wants certainty. Life moves in uncertainty. Conversation is not a script. It is a dance. You cannot choreograph a dance. While you are dancing, you feel the music. You move. You adjust. Social interaction works the same way. You respond. You adapt. Overthinking breaks the rhythm. Rhythm needs trust. Trust in yourself. Trust in the moment. Trust in your ability to adapt. When you trust, your body relaxes. Your breath slows. Your voice steadies. Relaxation invites authenticity. Authenticity invites connection. Overthinking is the fear of being wrong, but there is no wrong in real connection. There is only honesty. When you respond honestly, people feel it. They do not analyze your words. They feel your intention. They respond to your energy. Energy speaks louder than language. Overthinking drains energy. It creates hesitation. Hesitation creates distance. Responding creates immediacy. Immediacy creates warmth. Warmth builds connection. The more you respond, the more your mind learns. It learns that you can handle moments. It learns that mistakes are not disasters. It learns that silence is not shame. The nervous system updates its story. Social interaction becomes safe. When safety grows, fear shrinks. When fear shrinks, confidence expands. Confidence lives in action, not in preparation, not in perfection. Action trains the brain. Your brain does not learn through thinking. It learns through experience. Each time you respond instead of overthinking, you teach your mind something new. This is okay. I can do this. I am safe here. Repetition builds belief. Belief builds identity. Identity shapes behavior. Soon, you stop seeing yourself as awkward. You start seeing yourself as capable. Capability becomes your new normal. Responding also builds emotional agility. You become faster. You become sharper. You become more intuitive. You start sensing what fits, what feels right, what feels natural. You stop searching for perfect words. You start expressing real feeling. Real feeling creates real connection. Connection dissolves self-consciousness. When you feel connected, you forget about yourself. When you forget about yourself, awkwardness disappears. Overthinking is attention turned inward. Responding is attention turned outward. Outward attention creates presence. Presence creates power. Power not over people, but within yourself. The power to stay calm. The power to stay open. The power to stay engaged. Social ease is not about control. It is about surrender. Surrender to the moment. Surrender to imperfection. Surrender to human flow. Perfection is rigid. Flow is alive. Alive conversations breathe. They pause. They shift. They wander. This wandering is not chaos. It is discovery. Discovery keeps conversation interesting. Overthinking kills discovery. It traps you in safety. But safety without risk is isolation. Connection requires vulnerability. Vulnerability requires courage. Courage is responding, even when your voice shakes. Courage is speaking, even when your mind doubts. Courage is staying, even when your body wants to escape. This courage reshapes your nervous system. The body learns. There is no danger here. There is no threat. There is only connection. Over time, your reactions change. You no longer freeze. You no longer panic. You no longer hide. You respond. And responding feels natural. You trust your instincts. You trust your timing. You trust your presence. Presence becomes your anchor. When you anchor in presence, your words find their way, not because they are perfect, but because they are real. Real words carry warmth. Warmth builds rapport. Rapport deepens conversation. Deep conversation creates meaning. Meaning keeps people engaged. You stop worrying about what to say next. You start listening. Listening guides your response. Response creates flow. Flow carries you forward. Overthinking is trying to control the future. Responding is living in the present. The present is where connection happens. The present is where confidence lives. The present is where you belong. When you live in the moment, awkwardness has no place to grow. There is no time for fear. There is only now. Now is where you speak. Now is where you connect. Now is where you become. The more you practice responding, the quieter your mind becomes. Silence replaces noise. Calm replaces tension. You begin to feel steady. Steadiness creates authority. Authority creates respect. Respect creates ease. Ease becomes your social signature. You walk into conversations differently. You sit differently. You speak differently. Not because you are trying, but because you are trusting. Trusting yourself. Trusting the moment. Trusting the flow. This trust is the foundation of social freedom. Freedom from fear. Freedom from judgment. Freedom from pressure. Freedom to be you. And when you are free, you are magnetic. People feel your ease. They mirror your calm. They respond to your openness. Conversation becomes effortless. You stop surviving social moments. You start enjoying them. Enjoyment is confidence. Confidence is presence. Presence is power. And this is the shift, from thinking to responding, from fear to flow, from awkwardness to ease. And once you make it, you never go back, because presence feels better than protection. Connection feels better than control. Living feels better than hiding. This is your new way of speaking, your new way of being, And it starts with the courage to respond. Chapter 8: Creating Emotional Comfort and Connection. Comfort is the hidden language of connection. People do not open to intelligence first. They open to safety. They lean toward those who make them feel at ease. They relax around those who make them feel seen. They trust those who make them feel understood. Emotional comfort is the bridge. Without it, words feel distant. Without it, conversations stay shallow. Without it, connection never deepens. But when comfort is present, people soften. They breathe easier. They speak freely. They show who they really are. This is where real connection begins. Emotional comfort is not created by charm. It is created by presence. It begins with how you arrive. Your energy enters the room before you do. If your energy is rushed, people feel pressure. If your energy is tense, people feel unease. If your energy is calm, people feel safe. Safety is the foundation of comfort. Comfort begins with your own nervous system. If you are calm, others calm down around you. If you are relaxed, others relax. If you are grounded, others feel grounded. This is emotional contagion. Humans mirror each other unconsciously. Your internal state becomes the emotional environment. So the first step in creating comfort is learning to regulate yourself. Slow your breath. Relax your body. Soften your gaze. Your presence becomes an invitation. People feel it immediately. They feel when someone is not judging them. They feel when someone is not rushing them. They feel when someone is not trying to impress them. They feel when someone is simply there. Being there is rare. Most people are distracted. Most people are anxious. Most people are thinking ahead. So when someone is truly present, it feels like relief. Relief opens the heart. Comfort also grows from emotional validation. People want to feel understood before they want to be advised. They want to feel heard before they want to be guided. They want to feel respected before they want to be influenced. When someone shares something with you, they are offering vulnerability. How you receive it determines whether connection deepens or closes. If you rush past their feeling, they feel ignored. If you minimize their experience, they feel dismissed. If you judge their emotion, they feel unsafe. But when you acknowledge their state, when you honor their experience, when you hold space for their feeling, they relax. Relaxation builds trust. Trust builds comfort. Comfort builds connection. Connection is not built through fixing. It is built through understanding. Understanding creates emotional safety. Safety allows people to open. Open people connect deeply. Deep connection creates bonds. Another pillar of emotional comfort is non-verbal warmth. Your face tells a story. Your posture tells a story. Your tone tells a story. If your face is tense, people feel pressure. If your posture is closed, people feel distance. If your tone is sharp, people feel threat. But if your face is soft, your posture open, and your tone warm, people feel welcome. Welcome is comfort. Comfort invites honesty. Honesty deepens connection. Your eyes are powerful. Soft eyes communicate safety. Steady eyes communicate presence. Gentle eyes communicate care. Eyes that scan nervously, signal fear. Eyes that avoid signal insecurity. Eyes that lock aggressively signal dominance. But eyes that rest calmly signal stability. Stability feels safe. People lean toward safety. Another layer of emotional comfort is allowing others to be themselves. When someone feels they have to perform, they tighten. When someone feels they have to impress, they guard themselves. When someone feels they are being evaluated, they hide. But when someone feels accepted, they open. Acceptance is not agreement. It is respect. Then you can respect someone's experience without sharing it. You can honor someone's emotion without fixing it. You can hold space without solving anything. Holding space is powerful. It says, you are allowed to feel. You are allowed to be human. You are safe here. Safety builds emotional comfort. Emotional comfort also grows when you remove pressure from interaction. Pressure kills openness. Pressure to be funny. Pressure to be interesting. Pressure to be impressive. People sense pressure. Pressure creates tension. Tension blocks connection. But when interaction feels light, when it feels natural, when it feels unforced, people relax. Relaxed people connect. Connection flows where there is no strain. Another key to emotional comfort is emotional pacing. Some people need time. Some need space. Some need gentleness. Socially intelligent people move at the emotional speed of the other person. They do not rush intimacy. They do not force openness. They do not demand closeness. They allow connection to grow organically. Organic connection lasts. Forced connection collapses. Comfort also grows from emotional consistency. People feel safe with predictability. Not boring predictability. Emotional predictability. They know what to expect from your presence. They know you will be calm. They know you will be respectful. They know you will be grounded. This consistency builds trust. Trust creates emotional comfort. Comfort creates closeness. Closeness creates loyalty. Connection is built over time, through repeated experiences of safety, each moment of respect, each moment of patience, each moment of presence. They accumulate. They form emotional memory. People remember how safe they felt with you. That memory pulls them back. Another layer of comfort is emotional neutrality, not emotional coldness, emotional balance. When you do not overreact, people feel steady. When you do not judge, people feel accepted. When you do not push, people feel free. Freedom is comfort. People do not like feeling trapped. They like feeling chosen. When you give people space, they move toward you. When you pressure them, they pull away. Comfort also comes from shared humanity. When you allow small imperfections, you create relatability. When you allow moments of uncertainty, you create honesty. When you allow yourself to be real, others feel permission to be real too. Realness builds bonds. Perfection creates distance. People connect with humans, not masks. The more human you are, the more approachable you become. Approachability is emotional comfort. Comfort is the soil where connection grows. Connection is the root of meaningful interaction. Without comfort, relationships stay surface level. With comfort, relationships deepen naturally. You become someone people enjoy being around, not because you entertain them, but because you make them feel at ease. Ease is rare. In a world full of pressure, competition, judgment, and noise, and ease feels like home. When you become a source of ease, people return. They seek your presence. They trust your energy. They relax in your space. This is social magnetism, not built through tactics, not built through tricks, built through emotional safety, built through calm presence, built through respect, built through understanding. This is the art of creating emotional comfort. This is how connection becomes natural. This is how awkwardness fades. Because when people feel safe, there is no fear. When there is no fear, there is no tension. When there is no tension, there is no awkwardness. There is only presence. There is only connection. There is only flow. And this is the space where real conversations live. Chapter 9, Handling Awkward Moments with Grace and Control. Awkward moments are part of being human. They happen to everyone. The confident, the shy, the social, the quiet. No one escapes them. But the difference is not who experiences awkwardness. The difference is how it is handled. Some people freeze. Some panic. Some overreact. Some disappear inside themselves. And some move through it with calm, with grace, with control. Awkward moments are not failures. They are emotional crossroads. They test your presence. They test your composure. They test your relationship with yourself. An awkward moment does not define you. Your response to it does. Most awkwardness grows because people resist it. They tense up. They apologize too much. They try to fix it immediately. They try to escape the moment. Resistance makes awkwardness louder. Acceptance makes it fade. The moment you accept that awkwardness is normal, it loses its power. Power comes from fear. Fear feeds tension. Tension creates discomfort. When you stay calm, the discomfort dissolves. Awkward moments only become big when you make them big. When you treat them lightly, they become light. Grace is emotional stability. It is the ability to stay centered when the moment feels off. It is the ability to breathe when your mind wants to run. It is the ability to remain human without self-judgment. Control is not rigidity. It is calm awareness. When something awkward happens, your nervous system reacts first. Heart rate rises, muscles tighten, thoughts speed up, your body prepares for danger. But there is no danger, only discomfort. The socially skilled person knows this. They let the sensation pass. They do not fight it. They do not dramatize it. They allow the moment to breathe, and in that space, the tension fades. Awkwardness dies when it is not fed. Most people feed it with self-consciousness. They think, everyone noticed. Everyone is judging. Everyone is watching. But in reality, most people are focused on themselves. They notice far less than you think. And even if they notice, they move on quickly. Human attention is short, but shame is long if you hold on to it. Grace means letting go of perfection, letting go of control, letting go of self-attack. You allow yourself to be human. Human moments are imperfect. Human interactions are messy. Human connection is unpredictable. This is what makes it real. When something awkward happens, stay present. Do not rush to escape. Do not rush to apologize. Do not rush to explain. Stay. Staying shows confidence. When you stay calm, others calm down. When you stay relaxed, others relax. When you stay grounded, the moment resets itself. Energy follows your lead. If you panic, the room feels panic. If you smile gently, the room softens. If you pause calmly, the tension melts. This is emotional leadership. Grace is not pretending nothing happened. It is allowing what happened to pass naturally. Control is not forcing the moment back to normal. It is trusting that normal will return on its own. Awkwardness is temporary. Your reaction can make it permanent. When you react with embarrassment, you trap yourself in the moment. When you react with calm, the moment dissolves. Social confidence is not avoiding awkwardness. It is moving through it without losing yourself. Every socially confident person has had hundreds of awkward moments. They did not become confident because they never failed. They became confident because they learned not to fear failure. They learned that awkwardness is not danger. It is just discomfort. Discomfort is survivable, and the more you survive it, the less power it has. Handling awkwardness with grace begins with self-respect. You do not attack yourself. You do not shame yourself. You do not label yourself. You treat yourself like a friend. You remind yourself, this is okay, this happens. I am still worthy. Self-kindness stabilizes the mind. A stable mind creates calm energy. Calm energy restores connection. Control also comes from slowing down. Speed amplifies awkwardness. Fast speech, fast movements, fast reactions. They make the moment feel chaotic. Slowness brings order. Slow breath, slow movement, slow response. This slows the emotional storm. The storm passes. Grace is also about perspective. A single moment does not define a relationship. A single silence does not define your value. A single mistake does not define your identity. Life is built from thousands of moments. One moment cannot undo you. Control is remembering who you are, even when the moment feels uncomfortable. You are not your mistake. You are not your silence. You are not your slip. You are the one who stays standing afterward. Grace is strength without force. It is quiet confidence. It is knowing you can handle yourself in any moment. This knowledge changes how you show up. You stop fearing mistakes. You stop fearing pauses. You stop fearing imperfection. And when fear leaves, awkwardness loses its fuel. People respect those who are comfortable with themselves. They feel the calm. They feel the acceptance. They feel the steadiness. And they mirror it. Social ease spreads. One calm person can reset an entire room. One grounded presence can dissolve tension. One relaxed smile can shift energy. You become that person by mastering your response, not by controlling others, but by controlling yourself. You do not need to dominate moments. You need to stay centered inside them. Awkward moments are not enemies. They are teachers. They teach you resilience. They teach you presence. They teach you self-trust. Each time you move through one with grace, your confidence grows. Your nervous system learns, I can handle this. Your mind learns, I am safe. Your identity shifts. You no longer see yourself as awkward. You see yourself as adaptable. Adaptability is social strength. The world is unpredictable. People are unpredictable. Moments are unpredictable. But your presence does not have to be. You can be steady in a shifting world. This steadiness is your power. It allows you to walk into any space without fear of what might happen, because you trust yourself to handle whatever does. This is true confidence, not perfection, not control over others. Control over your inner state, grace in motion, calm under pressure, strength in vulnerability. This is how you handle awkward moments, not by avoiding them, but by rising through them. And when you do, awkwardness stops defining you. You define yourself with presence, with composure, with dignity. This is mastery. Chapter 10. Becoming socially free. The end of awkwardness. Social freedom is not loud confidence. It is quiet ease. It is walking into a room without tightening your body, without rehearsing your words, without measuring yourself against others. It is the feeling of being okay before anything happens. This is where awkwardness ends. Not because you mastered every conversation, not because you never feel nervous again, but because you no longer fear yourself inside social moments. Awkwardness was never the enemy. Fear was fear of being seen, fear of being judged, fear of being imperfect. And throughout this journey, you learned something powerful. You learned that fear is not truth. It is habit. A habit formed from past moments, old memories, and false stories your mind repeated. Once you saw that, its grip weakened. Social freedom begins when you stop fighting awkwardness and start understanding it. You stop labeling moments as failures. You stop labeling yourself as wrong. You stop attaching meaning to every pause, every silence, every imperfect word. You realize something deeper. People are not keeping score. Life is not a test. Conversation is not a performance. It is shared humanity. Social freedom is self-trust. Trust that you can respond. Trust that you can adapt. Trust that you can stay present, even when things feel uncertain. Uncertainty stops being a threat and becomes a normal part of interaction. You no longer need control. Control was never confidence. It was protection. Real confidence is flexibility. You bend without breaking. You pause without panicking. You recover without self-attack. This flexibility is power. Socially free people are not flawless. They are grounded. They allow moments to be what they are. They allow conversations to breathe. They allow themselves to be human. Human moments include silence. They include awkwardness. They include imperfection. And none of that scares them anymore. Awkwardness fades when it is no longer feared. What you resist persists. What you accept dissolves. The moment you stopped resisting discomfort, it stopped controlling you. You learned to stay present when your mind wanted to escape. You learned to breathe when your body wanted to tense. You learned to respond instead of overthink. These small shifts changed everything. Now conversations feel lighter. Your body feels calmer. Your mind feels quieter. You are no longer watching yourself. You are participating. Participation is freedom. You are no longer trapped inside self-judgment. You are inside the moment. The moment is where life happens. Social freedom is not about being extroverted. It is not about being charismatic. It is not about being impressive. It is about being at ease with who you are. Ease is magnetic. People feel it. They respond to it. They relax around it. When you are at ease, others feel safe. Safety creates connection. Connection replaces awkwardness. You now understand something that most people never realize. Talking to anyone was never about technique. It was about presence. Presence with your body. Presence with your emotions. Presence with the moment. When you are present, you do not need confidence. Confidence appears naturally, because confidence is not something you do. It is something that happens when fear leaves. You no longer wait for the perfect moment. You no longer wait to feel ready. You act. You respond. You stay. And in staying, you discover strength. But the strength to handle silence, the strength to handle mistakes, the strength to handle uncertainty. This strength makes you free. Social freedom means you can talk to anyone because you are no longer fighting yourself. You are no longer trying to protect an image. You are no longer hiding behind thought. You are simply there, and that is enough. Enough to connect, enough to speak, enough to listen, enough to belong. You stop chasing acceptance because you accept yourself. Self-acceptance removes fear. Fear removal removes awkwardness. Now when you walk into a room, your body does not shrink. Your breath does not tighten. Your mind does not race. You feel grounded. Grounded people feel confident without trying. You are no longer trying to talk right. You are talking real. Real talk creates real connection. This is the end of awkwardness. Not because it never appears, but because it no longer defines you. You move through it. You smile through it. You stay through it. And life continues. Social freedom is not loud success. It is quiet peace. Peace with yourself. Peace with others. Peace with moments as they are. This peace becomes your presence. And wherever you go, conversation follows naturally, not forced, not planned, not feared, just lived. This is not the end of your growth. It is the beginning of your ease. You do not need to remember everything. You only need to remember one thing. You are safe being you. And when you believe that, awkwardness has nowhere left to live.